Hello everyone and welcome to Club Live here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. We are live on YouTube tonight, so please like the video, share wherever you can, and if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be very much appreciated. I am Scott Carney, and joining me, you won't be surprised to hear after the week we've had, is Ali Pearson. Ali, how are you?
Again.
Again.
When I say other two clowns, where are they?
Don't know. Yeah. They're not committed, mate. They're not committed the way we are, mate. I think that's the way it is, mate. I think that probably means you're now in the A-team, but to be honest.
Well, if I've been upgraded,
that's a solid week.
I'm like Ross McCausland. I've just got into the first team.
Yeah, I know you're about to piss off on holiday for a while, but you've worked yourself into the A-team, mate. So no, as I say, yes, it is just myself and Alistair tonight. Due to other commitments the lads have, it's not their fault. It's the way things work out in life. So if you do have questions, please get them into the chat. I'll do our best to get through them. We've managed to figure out how Ali can also access the comments as well. Well done, Alistair. Andrew, thank you very much for becoming a channel member, mate. Really do appreciate that. So yeah, if you can, we'll try our best to pick through the questions and answer any ones that we can that seem to crop up, because as I say, we've got a bit to talk about, but obviously I am very aware you've just been listening to us too for the past week, so I do understand that. We'll be painting the wall, I suppose, slightly more than we already have as we go into things, but yeah, it is what it is, mate. There's not much you can do about that. That is what it is. So first off, Ali, tonight, a hello chat, everybody. Hello, nice to see everybody. Good to see you all. You want to talk about the tickets for the cup final, mate, before we go on to last night?
I was going to say, Pete Lawrence, is he in holiday in Cape Verde and he wants to tune in to listen to us two clowns? I hope he's not with his missus, because she'll be absolutely raging.
I went to Cape Verde from 5 years ago now. God, it's scary when I think about it. 5 years ago, I went there for my 30th, and it was good, but it was very much a resort place, if that makes sense. Like, outside it, there wasn't a lot really going for it. Yeah, I suppose in 5 years, it's probably developed something crazy, because it was becoming one of those places that it was becoming popular to go to on holiday. But no, it was a cracking place. Food was really good there, like really good. Anyway, Aberdeen tickets, mate, final tickets.
Yeah, we're not here to talk about holiday destinations and where everyone is in the world, but yeah, I thought it was quite cool though. But yeah, no, obviously the League Cup final, Carney, is the 17th of December, 3 o'clock. It's been confirmed. The usual palaver before it all came out was in terms of the ticketing, would it be a 50-50 split? A lot of people have said it shouldn't be a 50-50 split. Obviously, we'll get in a discussion of what we think about it, but it's come out that Aberdeen will get 19,500 tickets. Rangers will get 25,000. The rest goes to obviously corporate, which I think is around about 7,000. But I thought that was fair, to be honest, Carney. I think Aberdeen should be given basically, I mean, you've seen what they brought to the semi, but to me, they should be given all their season tickets plus maybe 20% on top of that, which is probably below 19,500, to be honest. But since that, there's been a big palaver about Aberdeen should get 50-50. Why is Rangers getting the West Stand? Why are we not flipping a coin in terms of who gets what stand? I just think it's been blown way out of proportion, Carney. But I agree in the split. I think it's correct. And I'll be even surprised if Aberdeen sell their 19,500 tickets. Obviously, your stepdad is an Aberdeen fan, Carney. So I'm interested to see his comments on it. But what's your thoughts about it?
It would be interesting to hear his comments on it. See his terms, and as far as Aberdeen fans go, actually, he is pretty reasonable at times, but he does make some comments where I go, "Oh, it oozes out you a little bit, doesn't it?" The hatred, so just slightly. But I don't know. I've not spoke to him, to be fair. My mum's actually down just now, but she didn't bring him with him, so he's been left dog sitting, mate, up the road. So he's still up the road. So look, in terms of this, mate, it was always going to happen. It's Aberdeen. It's what they do. It's the tin pot club that they are, mate. They believe they're a bigger club than what they actually are. To an extent, I understand the frustration around it all, with people saying, "Oh, we should be getting more." At the end of the day, it is up to them. It is a neutral stadium. I think they've done the right thing in terms of giving us a bigger allocation, and I do still think there'll be more handed back to Rangers. I don't understand why you would have empty seats. The league don't want that. The cup don't want that. They want to sell and make as much money as they possibly can out it. So the bit with the West Stand thing, I can't understand that. That makes little to no sense to me at all. It's not like if the West Stand and the East Stand are just terribly as bad as each other. They really are. So I don't really get that. That one confuses me. Maybe it's because they don't get the chance to drink in the pubs down Battlefield way, possibly. Maybe something to do with that. Well, I mean, they could drink down there. I'm not sure how welcome they would be amongst 25,000 Rangers fans, mind you. But you know what I mean? Maybe that's the only thing, because the other side there isn't as much. But I think they tend to drink in town anyway. When if it's not a Glasgow team, makes sense. I think they tend to drink in the town anyway before they would come work their way out to the stadium. But no, I was fully expecting this, mate. This handbag stuff about tickets. I didn't think it would go any other way than the way it has, and I do still believe that we'll get even more tickets from it. The good thing is, in terms of people that are on the Managerial scheme, and myself included, who's in the lower end of the silver, I am not high up at all. It looks like I'll get a ticket, so that's very positive for me. As long as I get, and as selfishly, as long as I get a ticket and my old man gets a ticket, that's all I really care about.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how they do the ticketing online again. I actually quite like the way they did it for the Hearts game, in terms of, instead of giving you and everyone goes on all at one time, the website crashes and it takes you hours to do it. They kind of drip fed it in terms of, if you're above a certain points tier, you go on at this time, etc., etc. I thought that was a good way of doing it, Carney, because previously when I've been going on for semis and final tickets, I've been close to launching my laptop against a wall, because it takes hours and hours and hours and get kicked out. But I actually went on for the Hearts one, and it was seamless, straight through, got my ticket. So I hope they do it the same way. I don't know what your kind of thoughts were on it, because I found it very easy last time.
Yeah, it was simple, mate. It was no bother at all. I still had the whole thing. And again, this harps back to how long does it take for us to get a ticket inside sorted? I mean, it can't be that hard. There's got to be a website that we can use. There must be a pre-built one. There must be people that do this kind of stuff. There's a pre-built thing for everything that you need to do online. So I don't understand why it is taking this long. But anyway, play out a question for the board. But it was fine, mate. I still had the problem though when I went to pay, and I was doing it through my credit card. It then jumped back and asked me to do it again, in terms of like book my tickets and that again. And I was like, what the hell? And it only happened twice this time. There's times that I've honestly had to do that about 6 or 7 times, and it's like pull your hair out stuff. It really is. It's very frustrating. But it was better. I think it eased the stress on the site, mate. But I still think we're at the point where, why have we not already updated this? Why is it all not already happened? It shouldn't have to take this long. But yeah, I'd imagine, mate, I'll be shocked if it's not the same thing.
Yeah. I think it will be the same as what they did before, because I think it worked better. I think the reason they can't just switch to a new website is because of all the data they have, and to switch everything over. I think he's kind of said that before. It's not as easy as just switching to a new supplier, if you want to say. So yeah, it will come in time, this new website, but yes, we will see when we finally get the emails out, Carney, of go on and get your ticket. So
should be soon, I would imagine. It'll be over the next week or so anyway. Maybe a week to 2 weeks it'll come out. So yeah, looking forward to it, and hopefully I get a ticket. Curry Muncher has asked, Gaffer, can we get an update on injury returns and when we expect Ryan to full fitness? It's a worrying trend for a future contract at Club at 22. Well, yes, mate, because he's another one that's about to disappear on holiday again. So you need to ask Ryan himself that one about his assessment of his fitness.
He did put in a Kamar Roof cameo
appearance, on
Tuesday night with Mr. Gemmell, so he did appear for a couple of minutes, but he likes his holidays, Ryan. So Rangers stress him out a lot, so he needs a lot of holidays.
He does need a lot of holidays. And Scotia's working before MDR. Scotia is generally working. There's not much we can do about that. Scotia has to earn a living, because apparently I don't pay him enough. Anyway, Ryan, the roof of Club at 22. That is brilliant. I'm actually quite a fan of this. The fact that he's the roof of Club at 22. Right. Anyway, mate, we'll move on to last night. Anyway, we'll talk about the very positive win in the Europa League versus Sparta Prague at Ibrox. Rangers winners by 2-1. I know we recorded a reaction last night, mate, which, by the way, I watched back this morning, I think it was. until I noticed. Well, I always watch it when I've uploaded it to make sure it's working, and I didn't notice. But this morning I put it on because my mum had mentioned, she's like, "Did you do a reaction last night?" And I put it on for 5 minutes, and I actually said the UEFA Champions League group stages. And I was like, "We're not in the Champions League."
Well, that'll be snipped by that
yeah,
mob, won't it?
I was like, "Yeah, silly Billy." I was like, "Oh, you're not in the Champions League." So no, I definitely that was like, "Whoa!" I don't even remember. I don't
remember you saying that. No.
You don't even flinch either. See, after I said it, you don't even flinch. Look, if professionalism is what you get when you come to this podcast. We've said it a million times before. But anyway, mate, more just about 24 hours after it anyway. What's your thoughts on the game now?
I was delighted. I thought the first half in particular, I thought that's the best I've seen Rangers play this season. I just thought the press that he wants to do, Clement, with this Rangers team, he wants to get on page of view.
Definitely. It's got a shout there, David. You've got a shout there.
Yeah, no, I've got a shout. But no, I thought the press was very good, Carney. I thought every time because they like to knock the ball round the back line, Sparta Prague, and we pressed them all the time. They got the ball, we pressed them, and that's how Danilo got his goal. And he was everywhere, Danilo. He was leading the press all the time. I just thought the first half in particular, I thought we were very good. Danilo probably should have scored to make it 3, which probably would have killed the game, to be honest. I think that's what Clement said in his post-match in terms of if the third would have killed the game. It really would have. The longer it went 2-0, it's a dodgy scoreline 2-0. But overall, Carney, I was delighted. The second half, I think you mentioned it, we're probably not fit enough at the moment to do that press for 90 minutes. Clement wants to do this. That first 45 he wants that over 90 minutes. When he came in, I don't think he was impressed with the fitness, Carney. It's getting a lot better now, but it just shows under Michael Beale what are we doing? Because it's a very unfit, lethargic Rangers team. And in the space of a month, he's transformed them, and they're only going to get, I hope they're only going to get better, Rangers. But I was delighted last night. I really was.
Yeah, same, mate. I was absolutely delighted with the victory, with the 3 points. The 3 points was crucial. Rangers had to win last night in order to put ourselves in a good position within this group, and we done just that. And based on the first half performance especially, Rangers were terrific, really, really good. Prague could not cope with Rangers in the first half. They really couldn't. They were very shaken up, and you could tell by even after the second goal, they did the wee mini huddle that they did in the middle of the pitch, that they were really scratching their heads together about how they were going to combat us, because we were on top of them anytime they had possession. A very positive half, a really, really positive. The first goal shows unreal composure by Danilo to win the ball, and I think that defender, Gomez, I think it is, it plays for them, he's not going to want to remember last night in a real hurry, because she was particularly poor for them. But Danilo, as calm as you like, mate, puts it away to make it 1-0. And the second goal was a really pleasing goal to watch. I had said to you at half time as well, made the point that we were playing long balls, but it wasn't long balls to nothing. It was like a diagonal pass to win the knockdown, and we were always winning that knockdown. And if it's a tactic that's working and you can utilise it, by all means do it. I'm all for stuff like that. It's not the most attractive of football, it isn't, but immediately we're in a dangerous position, and that's what led to the second goal. The ball from Lundstrom to Seema is brilliant. The control from Seema to knock it back for Danilo is fantastic. Danilo's pass to Cantwell was great. Everything opens up in front of Cantwell as he cuts inside. He buries it to make it 2-0 within 20 minutes, and it was a real positive start, and it kind of took me by surprise, I'm not going to lie. Not by surprise, but maybe I wasn't expecting within 20 minutes for Rangers to be 2-0 up. But when we got to 2-0, I say me and my dad were absolutely delighted. We had a wee fist pump to each other from the other side of the club deck, and things were just all rosy, mate. And that's really all, it is all based on a different approach, direct passing, forward passing, players willing to work harder than they were previously, and pressing from the front. Everything really in that first, say, 35, 40 minutes was almost flawless.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. It's the best performance I've seen by Rangers this season. I just thought everything about it was what you want. It's the basics, if you want to say. I know Ryan harps on about this all the time. The basics of football, application, desire, all that. I just thought we had it. Guys like Ryan Jack in the middle of the park, winning balls back. I know we were slack at times, but even at those points when we were slack, we won the ball back again and went again. So, yeah, I just thought it was positive all over the park. Even at the second goal you're talking about, I know we kind of slaughtered Lammers again, which we'll probably get in the comments for. But even his run creates the space for Cantwell to slot that in. He dragged a couple of defenders away. But the first half, Carney, I was delighted. My only gripe, which is was we didn't get a third goal. That was my only gripe. But if somebody told me you'd go in at half time 2-0 up against Sparta and you would have played the way you played, I probably wouldn't have believed them as well. I thought we'd get I did think we would beat Sparta, but I thought it'd be harder than what it was. I know the second half, which will come on, it was harder, but the first half in particular, if we can click and get two halves like that, Rangers will beat most teams. They will.
Yeah, I agree. Curry actually asked. We'll speak about it, right? Because people gave us a wee bit in the comments as well last night about Lammers. I don't like doing it. I generally don't. I think people think that I do. I want them to be good. I really do. Last night, okay, if I'm being really kind, he makes a half-decent run to distract a defender for Cantwell's goal. I don't think it's as good as everybody's making out it to be. I honestly don't. I think Cantwell, Danilo and Seamer are the ones responsible, as well as Lundstrom's pass. That was what was responsible for that goal. I'm kind of left after that going, apart from a switch ball that I remember he played in the first half where he played out to the right-hand side, I thought, that's much better. Everything else from him, I don't get. I really don't get. I thought his passing was terrible. I really did. I thought he was nowhere near it, and he's a guy right now that just seems to be getting the perseverance from Clement. Ultimately, we won the game last night. I do get that, and I don't know whether they're trying to protect him in terms of his confidence levels, and they're trying to rebuild him to a certain extent. But apart from a worldie of a goal that he scored, I'm really struggling to put anything else on why I think he should be starting in this team, especially with players coming back into fitness, and the fact that I think that Cantwell should be playing where he plays. I'm running out of ways to have a reason to keep him within the team, and I'm sorry if you think that's negative, but that's my honest opinion of him. You can't do that. £2. Thank you very much for the donation, mate. That's very much appreciated. We are certainly rocking all over the world. Ali, your thoughts on him? I've said my bit. Again, if it is negative, it is, but it's my opinion on him.
I don't think it's been negative. I think it's given an opinion. You're allowed to have an opinion. Everyone has different opinions. Everyone watches a different game differently a lot of times, but for me, I did look at him quite closely last night, Carney. I know you looked at him.
The Hearts game, I think it was. I think it was a Hearts game.
Yeah.
Ibrox,
I watched him last night, and I think I put one of the comments up there. One of the guys in the comments, I kind of agreed with it. He floats about the park for me without really doing anything. I didn't think he was involved at all. I talked, there you go, Gallant Pioneer it was. But yeah, I talked to the guys about me when I sat in Ibrox, and I think a ton of the guys beside me after 35 minutes when Rangers were playing really well, Carney, and I went, I've not really seen Lammers at all in this game. He's been floating about without really doing anything, and that's what he kind of does. Yeah, he had that worldy goal against Dundee, which was a fantastic goal.
A peach, yeah. Take nothing away from him for it, yeah.
He did, and he did play better in that game, but there was periods of it where I thought he gives the ball away too much. He's a bit lightweight for me in the ball. I mean, I want him to prove us wrong, and I don't like sitting here being critical of him, but I've got to say what I see. There's no point in me dressing up and saying, I think he's going to come really good, because I've not seen evidence of it at all, Carney. And for me, I'd love to sit and ask Clement why he consistently plays him and where he plays him, because we've got Cantwell now, who you'd like to think's up to speed now. He's been back quite a while. That's his position for me. I don't like Cantwell playing kind of wider out and coming inside. I just think Cantwell plays where Lammers plays for me. And I think, I'd like to hope, Carney, that after the international break, you've got players coming back. Scott Wright, you've got Matondo. For me, I think Matondo could thrive in this Rangers team. I really do. I wouldn't have said that this time last season, but from what I've seen of Matondo at the beginning of this season, I think he could slot in this Rangers team brilliantly, which would then free up Cantwell to play in the middle of the park. So it'll be interesting to see after the break. But he's not done it for me, Carney. He hasn't. And I hope if he plays against Livingston on Sunday, he goes and rips it up. But I just haven't seen it from him. I really haven't. And we're nearly halfway through November now. And apart from that worldly goal he scored, that's it for me. I think most of the Rangers support, I think a lot of the Rangers support made their mind up on him weeks ago. And a lot of folk will say, you've made your mind up and that you're not going to change your mind. I will change my mind if he comes good. But at the moment, I'm just saying what I've seen so far from him, and I haven't seen enough for him to warrant playing week in, week out for Rangers.
Yeah, I think as well, there's blind optimism in it as well. And I get that people will have a go at us for being honest and they'll construe it as being negative. But I've always said that I'll always be honest. And if I don't think something's right, I'll come out and say it. And again, if you want proof of that, of us wanting to be proved wrong, I slated Rabbi Matondo, I slated James Tavernier, and I'm now not slating them anymore because they're proving me wrong, and I want that. But at the time of doing this podcast and what I'm seeing from Lammers, I don't get it. I generally just don't get it. Is every time you see the name, you're like, do you know what I mean? It's like, do we have to continue to persevere with it? I just think there's better options. I really do. And I think what Rangers on Tour said there in the comments that I flashed up onto the screen was he's just there until people are fit. Maybe so, but there's going to be players now that they're going to have to really have to. He's going to really have to even up his game because I think there's just too many players that would take the position off him, and if they show up and make an impact from the bench, I think the noises again will be too loud to ignore. Because I just don't get it. As I say, I just don't get it. But it's my opinion, and I hope in Sunday he scores 5 goals, generally, and everyone's an absolute screamer, and I'll look like an idiot. Like, that's what I want to happen. But for right now, I just don't see it. Honestly, I just don't see it. The second half, mate, as you mentioned, the intensity dropped. It did. There's absolutely zero doubt about it. I was probably a little bit too harsh, to be honest, after my initial reaction. And again, another reason why I'm trying to do this is a caveat. I always try and caveat straight after a game, you're still full of the emotion, you're still full of the adrenaline, you're still full of the feeling of the whole entire game. Your opinions may change over time. I do think I was slightly critical. I do think Rangers looked a bit leggy in terms of being able to keep up the intensity that we had. Credit to Sparta, I do think they made changes and it made a hell of a difference for them. I thought they were much better than in the second half. I do think the defence deserves some amount of credit for the way that we controlled the game. I don't think Sparta had many clear-cut chances, really. I don't think we created nearly enough either, but I think the one thing I probably didn't give credit to, mate, as much as I should have, is the way that we managed that game out. Rangers were brilliant at it, and it's another thing that I feel that Clement is trying to implement onto the team.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I say, he wants to do this press for 90 minutes, but at this present point, the team can't because we're probably not fit enough. So, yeah, second half, naturally, they're going to have a go at us. They have to have a go at us, Sparta, because they have to get points out of that game last night to keep it alive for them to go through this group. Because if they win, Sparta, and we don't, they're back in the driving seat. So it was huge for them. A loss was no use. Even a draw would have suited them, but a loss was no use to Sparta. I know there's 2 games to go, but Rangers are in the driving seat at the moment. So naturally they're going to have a go at Rangers. But yeah, I thought we weren't as clinical in front of goal in the second half. We missed a few chances, I thought, to kill the tie. If you look at it, like you say, Jack Butland, apart from that one save he had at 2-1 to make, didn't have much to do. There was one where Tav gave the ball away and the ball came back and the boy headed it, but he headed it quite wide, to be honest. So although they had a lot of the ball, they didn't really carve us open. I thought our 2 centre-halves were very good last night, and ultimately the game management at 2-1, Carney, like I said in the post-match, I thought, are we going to shit the bed?
The squeaky bum time.
Yes, because you've seen it under previous Rangers teams against lesser teams in Sparta Prague. I mean, lower teams in Scotland that we play against. When it goes to that, it's like the Rangers team used to go, oh shit, what do we do now? Do we hold on? And ultimately, sometimes it's cost us. But no, I thought the game management was really good. 8 minutes of added time, or 6 minutes come up. Obviously, what happened was the 8 minutes. So I thought we controlled it brilliantly. And this isn't the first time I've seen it under a Clement. We've done really good game management. Done it against Hearts as well at Ibrox when we had to. But it was, I thought Tom Lawrence coming on in the corner just killed 15 minutes. I thought it was very good by Rangers, and we got out with a 2-1, and ultimately that's all we had to do is win the game, and we've won the game. So we're in the driving seat, and thank you very much. You can't do that. What's he saying? Beale signing
Butland, make up for signing Lammers. Look, but the Butland signing is incredible. It is. He's an absolute star player for us now. There's absolutely zero doubt about it. Unfortunately, if they were around the same position, I would say yes, but because they're not, like, it's hard one to really answer that, if that makes sense. I don't think it really does. I think Beale's left us with him more than anything else, is the way I see it. Your thoughts, mate?
Well, Butland's. We could sit here all night and talk about Jack Butland, about how good he's been as he made up for Lammers. I mean, you don't get every signing right. You can't get every signing right. But I've said my piece in Lammers at the moment. I hope he proves me wrong. Like you say, Carney, on Sunday, if he plays on Sunday, which I think he might, I hope he goes and scores a couple of goals and has an absolute nailer of a game. But I'm yet to see it.
Yeah,
that's all I'll say on it.
Yeah, the crowd last night, mate, I think deserve a bit of credit, which I didn't do on the pod last night, the recording after the game. Now, was it the most electrifying European night I've ever heard at Ibrox? By no stretch of the imagination, I don't think it was. But seeing the team's time of need, the fans responded, and it was a real moment that I thoroughly enjoyed as well. We responded, we sang our hearts out, we gave the players, I think, the belief that they needed, just to give them that wee extra % that they needed to get through to weather the storm, if you like, from Prague. And I don't think it can be underestimated, mate, when the crowd is on the side of the team, and we always want to be. That's the thing. I said it even through Beale when we were struggling. I said, I want to support this team, I want to back them, and I always back the team, but you understand what I mean by that. I don't want to be critical of them. I want to believe that they're going to do something for me, and I wasn't getting that impression. Whereas with Clement, with what Clement's trying to implement, the team, his style, everything about that is why the crowd is now responding the way they are, because we can see the players trying something, we can see the manager trying something, and we're literally all for it. But it can't be underestimated, mate, how important we can be for this team in big matches like that.
Aye, what's the word he's used all the time? Synergy. That's the word. And he said in his presser today, that's probably the biggest thing he's taken so far out of his time at being Rangers manager, that he's got that connection between the team and the fans back. And weeks ago, Carney, if we went, if we were winning a game 2-0 at Ibrox and it went 2-1, Ibrox sometimes turns. But last night it didn't. The crowd galvanised and went right behind the team, and Chris went up the park and scored. I know it was disallowed by VAR, and correctly, because I've seen it back, Carney, but I think it gives Rangers that added boost. And like you say, any team come to Ibrox when they've got the fans like us behind them, it's an intimidating place to be, and that's how it should be. But aye, they've got me back. It's not that I wasn't never not there, to be honest, but you're enjoying going back to Ibrox now. I think we said weeks ago, Carney, it was turning into a slight chore going to Ibrox because you were just dreading what you were going to watch. Now Clement's turned this Rangers team into a team that you actually enjoy going to watch now at Ibrox, and so it's it's all positives. Club at 22, the positive podcast.
The positive podcasting.
Apart from we talk about Lammers. The comments for that one.
We'll put an asterisk under it, mate, and we'll put asterisks apart from when we talk about Lammers. Craig Clark, thank you very much, mate, for the donation. Great pod, lads. Keep up the great content. Really appreciate that, mate. Thank you so much. Before I come on to everybody's favourite part of the show, mate, there's one thing that Clement said after the game last night that I wanted to pick out. He said, I don't want the team to get complacent and think they're already through, and I'll remind them if I think this is happening where they were before I came in, or along those lines. You know, that's what the translation's like. The guy just has winning in his blood, and what he's doing his absolute best to install this into the players. But see, when he makes comments like that, I'm like, you're not to be messed with. You are a proper football manager, and I think there will be an element of maybe not fear, but or possibly fear, but in the right way of Clement. I don't think he's a guy that misses you and hits the wall. If he's not happy with something, I'm pretty sure he's going to tell you. But that comment last night, I was like, that is music to my ears.
Yeah, I mean, they said it after the semi against Hearts, in terms of, we've won the game, we've not won anything yet, in terms of got the final to go, so keep the feet on the ground. Yeah, I like the way he talks, Carney, because if you look at it, we've got Aris Limassol coming up, who are the bottom seed in our group. We should be beating Aris Limassol. But I know they beat us obviously out there, which was a bit of a shocking performance for Rangers. But I think he's just saying to them, don't you go into that game just thinking you can turn up and win. Because if you go into the games thinking that way, the other team can surprise you sometimes. And that's happened to Rangers in this season and in previous seasons, when they think they just need to turn up. And I don't think he's a guy to be messed about with, Carney. I think if players let him down, I think he'd be ruthless with them. I really do. I think if one player let him down big style, he'd be ruthless. And I like that about him. He's stern. You see him in the touchline, Carney, going tonto half the time.
Doesn't he mess about?
I mean, I said the one at Hearts in the semi-final when we were 3-1 up. There was 2 minutes left in added time, and he's going tonto at Dessers for not pressing. I like things like that, and he keeps going about. He's a winner. He wants to win all the time. But it's a breath of fresh air for Rangers at the moment. It really is. From a guy that I really knew little about, to be honest, Carney. I can't sit here and say I knew everything about the guy, because I didn't, but extremely impressed so far by him.
Absolutely, he's won me over. I'm not going to lie. I'm doing my hardest not to become
off that Beale train now.
Yeah, very much so, mate. I can't even see the Beale train anymore. The Clement train's going that fast, mate. I can't see it anymore. I'm almost the driver of the Clement train. I just think he's great. I really do. Everything that he says, and we'll come on to his presser today. There was another comments that he made today that I just thought were fantastic. But before we go any further than that, I would his favourite time of the show. It's time for a word from our sponsors. We have teamed up with Manscaped to bring you the ultimate solution to dealing with the relentless stubble situation. Brace yourselves, because Manscaped is making a statement in the beard game with the all-new Handyman electric face shaver. Your ticket to a faith as smooth and as sharp as Philip Clement's head, minus the chaos of a traditional shave. Join the 9 million men gents worldwide who've entrusted their grooming to Manscaped with our exclusive offer. Hop over to manscaped.com, use the code CLUBAT22 to snag a glorious 20% off and score free shipping. With the Handyman's skin-safe technology, those pesky nicks and cuts are history, giving you the confidence to aim for that super close shave. Whether it's wet or dry affair, Handyman is your trusty sidekick, ready for action wherever you go. Its compact design and aeroplane friendliness will make it your ultimate on-the-go grooming tool, and Ali's already packed it to go away with on his holiday. And for the lads who flaunt a little extra scruff, behold the Manscaped Beer Hedger Pro Kit. This thing is the juggernaut of fixing faces. This cordless trimmer gives you 20 hair-cutting lengths all in one guard. Face grooming doesn't need to be hard. The Beard Hedger is a high-tech piece of art in a travel-size package with a long-lasting battery, universal charging, and a strong motor. Trust me, gents, you can't go wrong with any of these options. Manscaped has your grooming game locked and loaded. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code CLUBAT22 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the code CLUBAT22. Hit the refresh button with the Handyman and the Beard Hedger Pro from Manscaped. Thank you very much to Manscaped for supporting this podcast. If you use their code, you'll be supporting this podcast, so I can't thank you enough. And the stuff is good. You are taking that on holiday with you, aren't you, the Handyman?
Oh, the Handyman's a game changer, by the way. That's out of all the products I've used, the Handyman's my favourite so far. It's to be fair, I'm a guy that takes about 5 years to grow a beard. I mean, what you've got right there, Carney, would take you about 10 years to grow that. But it's the Handyman's brilliant. It's really good. I took it on holiday when I was away last month because it's quite small, but no, brilliant. Christmas is coming up, so
And there's a new product just coming as well. Hopefully by next week,
one.
that'll be by the next Friday when we do Club Live. It should be here. So you'll be able to see that, and it's cool. We've got fancy new graphics and everything. I was showing Ali before we got started coming on. We've got fancy new graphics and everything from Manscaped for it. But yeah, no, generally, if you use our code on their website, you're supporting us. Christmas coming up, plenty of gift ideas and stuff like that for whoever it may be. But it's the stuff is genuinely superb. We don't just say that. Honestly, I love it. I buy stuff myself from it since I've started using the stuff. The stuff is great, generally fantastic. So thank you, everybody. Right, Ali, have a quick catch up on. Did I miss anything in the chat? Is there anything interesting that we should be discussing? Them to ask a question, or we would just move on? There might be something. JD said, Scott and Ali, did you catch Philip Clement still arguing with the fourth official after the final whistle went? Everyone thinks the match is over and PC's still fighting some boy. Exactly, mate. That's what I mean. I think he was pretty annoyed at the length of time. It was 9 minutes, I think we went. I watched it when I was watching the highlights back. 8 or 9 minutes we went, and when I watched the highlights back, and 6 were added on. And I know he's doing it because, well, at one point the ref was holding the ball because the Rangers fans were holding on to the other ball in the crowd, right? Which it's a bit silly that, because the ref's always going to add on time. If you fling the ball on, it still stops the play, and you need to add on time. I do get that. It's all a wee bit tongue in cheek, though, in my opinion. But he was like pointing at the fourth official as if going to tell Clement to tell the fans to stop doing that. Like, no bother, hang on, I'll just get my megaphone out and just ask the Rangers fans to stop doing this. But I think that's another thing that can't be. Clement acts like he's playing the game. You know what I mean? See, when you see him on the touchline, it's like he's involved in the game and he's leading from the side of the pitch. I never seen that with Beale. Yeah,
no, Beale for me just kind of stood at the side of the pitch, or he would sit in the dugout. But no, he's kicking every ball. He's a bit like myself. So when I sit in my seat, I'm kicking every ball with Rangers. That's why my voice is always hoarse after a Rangers game, because I've been shouting so much. But yeah, no, I just love everything about him at the moment. I just think he's an intimidating figure at the side of the park, Carney. See, when you see him, especially we're up in the club deck, so we're quite high up, but he looks an intimidating figure. Even talking to Ryan and in Scotia, who were the fans thing during the week, they said he was intimidating.
He's got an aura.
Yeah, he's a guy that if he walked in a room, you would know he was there. If Michael Beale walked in a room, you wouldn't know he was there at all. He's got that about him, and I just want to see more from the big man. But he's doing very well so far.
Yeah, I hate being that. I'll say this because I trust the guy that told me, to be honest. But a guy that knew a guy that knew a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy knows a guy, etc. There was basically from somebody that I know said that they were doing work at the training centre, and it was like Beale used to walk about with his hands in his pockets, kind of kicking the floor, just kind of wasting time, really. There was no real presence to him, no real anything to him, and I'm like, am I shocked at that? When I'm shocked that I heard it, I was like, no, I'm really not. I mean, take that for a pinch of salt if you like, but I do trust the guy that told me. But you're still like, yeah, Clement, I don't see it like that. I honestly think it's almost like the players will sit to like attention, if they like, when the manager walks in. There'll be no slouching round about when Clement's there. So no, I agree. I think it's good to have a guy like that. Blue Nose John, how's it going, John? Good to see you. What did you make of Goldson's booking? I thought he nearly killed the guy, to be honest. It was a hell of a tackle. It was one of those ones for the team. I'm doing this for the team. But I'm presuming that you mean the fact that it ran on and it went to offside, and obviously Clement made comment about it being a stupid rule. It is a stupid rule. I don't understand. See, when there's a blatant offside, the guy's 4 yards offside. Why do we need to wait 20 seconds before the referee puts his flag up? The linesman puts his flag up. It's a ridiculous rule. We all know he's offside. Do you know what I mean? Everybody knows he's offside. It's like one of those things you can't deny. But the booking, see, do you know why I'm okay with it? Because see, after we scored, Danilo scored the third goal. The other guy booked for the protest that they did to the referee, and it didn't get rescinded when the goal took off. So unfortunately, it's the rules, Ali.
Aye, that's the rule. You need to get angry at the rule. It's like the penalty one as well with the handball and stuff. So it's if it is what it is. But is he suspended? Were we talking about goals?
He's suspended. Yeah,
he's suspended for the next round. So you would think, or you'd like to hope, that John Suter will be back for that game. Yeah. So it would probably be Suter and Davies as a central pairing. So Aye, it's a pity because Big Goldson, he's a guy he's always there, Goldson. You didn't even think about him in the team sheet, you just expect him to be there all the time. You expect him to be fit all the time. So it's a shame.
It is, but it is unfortunately the rules. And I know Clement made the point of saying that he wasn't a fan of the rule, which I can understand why, but he's not making excuses for it either. He's like, okay, he's not available then.
Yeah,
like it's like we'll just move on. Do you know what I mean? We will just move on from that. So yeah, it's that's what it was. But I thought the tackle was I thought it was like, whoa, when he done it. I don't even think my dad was like, I wish Goldson just got booked, but I think my dad had followed the play, and I was like, is Goldson nearly killed that man? But it was one for the team, I suppose. One for the team. Right, Ali, we'll move on to the next match. Rangers travel to the Spaghetti Had on Sunday to face Livingston as we return to league action. Livingston are currently 10th and have lost their last 4 games in a row. It's pretty safe to say, Ali, that they're probably not looking forward to a Rangers team that is finding some form coming to town.
No, they've. I was looking at them today. They've lost their last 4. Their last game, Dundee beat them 1-0. The last time they won a game was Motherwell. They beat Motherwell 2-0. I think Motherwell were down to 10 men though. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they've not had a good start at all, Livingston. They're on that dodgy pitch so that they were asking Clement about today. But again, he was like, well, that's what it is. I don't like it, but it is what it is. If we need to play them in the car park, we'll play them in the car park. It doesn't matter. So the pitch for me, we talk about the pitch all the time, Canny, but we've talked about these pitches for years. I mean, Livingston, come on, how long have they been in the Premier League, the Premiership in Scotland? So it is what it is. We're used to going there. Most of these Rangers players have played in that pitch umpteen times. So for me, it's not an excuse. I agree. I don't think the pitches should be in our top flight in Scotland. They should be nowhere near it. But it's there. We need to go on with it. We need to deal with it. We've got much more better players than Livingston, so we should be taking care of Livingston. And it doesn't matter what park we're playing on. So, yeah, like you say, Karen, they're not playing that well. Livingston, obviously, Martindale was linked to be going to, was St Johnstone job he was linked to going to. But obviously, they said they didn't want him to leave Martindale, so he's always got them organised, Livingston. They're one of these kind of stuffy teams, but I always think if you get the early goal against them, which is obviously a cliche in football, but if you get the early goal against them, you should go on and beat them comfortably, and we've beaten them at Ibrox so far. So, yeah, it should be a routine game for Rangers, but you never know. But it's the last game before the international break, Carney, so I'm confident going into it.
Yeah, I think it's not crucial, but it's going to help the run that we've been on if we go into the international break after 3 points. And we've won there before on the pitch. The pitch is what it is. Do you know what I mean? I hate it. I can't stand it. It looks terrible on the telly, and on Sunday I'm going to see it first time ever with my own eyes because I'm going to the game. But it's it doesn't look good, and as a product to try and get people to sponsor you and to show on a bigger scale across the world now as it can be with football. These plastic pitches just look awful. They look truly terrible. The weather is not that bad that we have to have plastic pitches. It just isn't that bad. And if it was, there's always something that could be done around rearranging fixtures anyway, but it isn't. The biggest problem is that Livi don't own that stadium. I think it's owned by their council, I think they do it. So they're the ones that have decided to put it in because it's easier to upkeep and you don't pay for a greenkeeper. Well, you do pay for a greenkeeper as such, but it's not the same kind of thing. So it's a lot easier to maintain, but it doesn't make it right. It really doesn't. Youth football, yes. Amateur football, whatever, I can understand why it would be getting done at places where there's 8 pitches at a location for people to play football on, for example. But for a football stadium in the top flight, it shouldn't be happening. Martindale, I don't think he's one of these guys, mate, that they'll finish like 7th and everything will be fine. Do you know what I mean? He'll survive again. He seems to be like that. He seems to get them sorted, and they'll hit a run where they get 2 or 3, 4 wins in a row, and they'll get themselves out of danger. But this is the first time, and I think in the past few years, mate, that I can remember them being towards the bottom of the league is where they're sitting. I think they're sitting pretty low down, and obviously losing the last 4 games, they won't be too delighted the fact that we're coming to town anyway. The presser today, Clement said there's no fresh injuries ahead of the game on Sunday. Clement does expect Roof, Raskin, Matondo, Suter back after the international break, so it will create competition. Scott Wright is very much touch and go for the game on Sunday, but he will definitely be back after the break. He says it is always the work of the players to improve. Coaches can give advice, but it is a collective to work on improvement. You can see the evolution with the training and the games, and he wishes it were yesterday that the team were where he wants them to be, but it's not machines that he's working with, it's people. He said the concentration is good, and it's the fastest response from a group of players, which maybe comes from how low the players were. Ali, I think before I come on to the next bit, that I really liked this bit in particular. We maybe underestimated because we said that the players maybe chucked it under Beale, and I suppose to a certain extent they did, but a lot of them probably were on pretty rock bottom. They probably weren't feeling too great about things. Beale was very much job for the boys. They were in a safe, not a safe pair of hands, a familiar pair of hands, that they knew who he was, understand how he worked, etc. But the confidence levels would have been right down, and I think it's very encouraging for Clement to be saying this is the fastest response he's ever had from a group of players. That to me tells me everything that I really need to hear about the squad, mate. They are buying into him.
Definitely, we can see it with the results we've had so far and performances as well. But yeah, you can just the difference from Beale to Clement is night and day, and the guy's getting a bit of belief into some players. He's getting that. You always get a new manager bounce. A lot of managers get this. I mean, look at St Johnstone, for instance. Sacked their manager, then they won their next game, and they should have won their next game. Only 2 weeks there, but a lot of these teams get a new manager bounce. But you can just see it with this Rangers team what he's creating with them so far. These players as well. I like the way he talks about the players. He talks about, ultimately, there's going to be a bump in the road. Football, you can't win every game in football. There's always a bump somewhere, and he wants to see how do certain players react. How do they react to a setback? Because that'll tell them a lot about their character, and he goes into things about that. And yeah, I just think it's man management so far. I think it's been brilliant with certain players, even young McCausland. Talking about McCausland, I don't know if you'll come on in terms of his talking about him signing a contract, but even him, he's like, I'm giving you a chance to show something. There's a chance to show something. So, yeah, I think he's an approachable guy, but I still think he's a stern guy. I don't think he's a guy to be pissed about with, to be honest. I think
No.
I think he's a guy that would probably grab you in a dressing room and put you against the wall, which I like. I like that kind of old school mentality of going in there and doing stuff like that. I could see him doing that, but yeah, I just think the players are bought majorly into him, Carney. And you listen to the players in interviews, the way they talk, the way the training's improved, the tempo's better, the fitness, everything they talk about, it's all positives under him. And I don't think they're bashing Beale at the same time, but it gives you a glimpse into what it was like under Beale, Carney, and these players. And you thought when Beale came in that because they've worked under, the majority of these players have worked under Beale, you thought they might have got something, but maybe it was kind of like you say, like a Powell's act that he came in and they thought, we can kind of not do what we want, but they've got a guy in now going basically, no, this is the way we're doing it going forward. If you don't like it, you can move on, and they've bought into it majorly, these players, and the players you rhyme can't come back after the international break. Hopefully, it's only going to get better. I keep going on about Matondo, which I know I said earlier on. I can't believe I'm even saying this now because of last season that I'd written him off. So folk are writing ladders off. We could be talking about this next season, but I think he's a guy that could really, really thrive in this Rangers team. I just look at the way we're set up, and you can see my one side. The only thing I think a guy in the comments put up is Matondo would play where Seema's playing at the moment on the left-hand side, but I think Seema could play in the right quite comfortably. So it'll be interesting, but it's all positives with the players buying into him and these players still to come back in the team, Carney. So, because we've got December coming up, which is a massive month. You know what December's like? There's 9 games or something in December. So he did say you'll need to use the squad. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, McCausland will stick with that. Rumour has it that he's already signed a 2-year deal with the first team, which I think would be a positive move. I know Clement was a wee bit coy with his answers today and said that nothing's for sure until he's signed, so there might be the final details to kind of crash out. But as far as I'm aware, the contract offer has been made to McCausland. I think he's quite keen on keeping him. By the way, even what he said today, I think he's pretty keen to work with this lad. And see the 2 passes last night, and I know it is only 2 passes, and his shot was unlucky as well, not the one with his left foot, the one with his right foot. The 2 passes, he just looks like a guy that's got that, the Gallus that Scotia talks about all the time that Lowry had for a while that was shown. It looks like it's coming through on McCausland, and McCausland himself is probably thinking, I've got a real opportunity here. I've got an opportunity to get myself into this Rangers team. And it's about time, mate, that we get one coming through the academy that actually works out. And has an impact on the first team that will get sold on, that will annoy everybody as it always tends to do. But your thoughts, mate? From what I've seen in McCausland, I'd be keen to keep him about.
Yeah, definitely. I like him. He's direct, goes forward with a ball. He can beat players. Yeah, his shooting can be better. Obviously, that one last night, but he's probably quite nervous, to be honest. And he's come into this Rangers first team, Canny. I think if he get games under his belt, I think that would come in time, because I remember we seen McCausland the B team, first B team game we went to down in Barton, and he played it. I mean, the team they played against was like, the team they played against was 11 guys for the pub or something, and they were pissed the night before. But he was very good in that game. He was a guy that stood out for me in that game, Carney, and we all kind of looked at each other like, he was decent. I know the opposition wasn't great, but since he's come into the Rangers team this season, yeah, he's very good. The 2 passes last night were brilliant, Carney. They really were, and that's what you like from him. Like you say, he's got a wee bit of a swagger about him, which you want in a young player. But yeah, like Clement said, the chance is there for him. Go and show me. He's going to give him chances. So it's up to McCausland. It's down to him. So yeah, I think he's got something to offer this season, especially that side, because nobody's really nailed down that side of the park, if you want to say. So yeah, I'll be quite happy to see McCausland moving forward.
Yeah, before we come on to your teams and scores, the last bit I want to speak about from what Clement said today. He was asked about momentum, about building momentum. He said, no, I'm not building momentum, as that means something has to stop. I want to create a machine that keeps on going. Honestly, mate, I was like, I was purring. I know I've used that twice, 2 podcasts in a row. See, as soon as he said it, I was like, I nearly melted. I was like, yes, all for it, absolutely all for it. He's so unbelievably concentrated on the next game's a win, yes, but the following game has to be win. But he's realistic enough to know, because he keeps mentioning it, that he doesn't expect the team to get beat at one point, but it's going to happen. At one point it will happen, but he doesn't want it to happen yet, and it's not momentum. It's building a machine that never stops. Honestly, I'm like, this is what I mean. Like, I'm all for the guy. He's completely won me over. See, when he said that today and I watched it, I was just like, that's incredible, mate. That's everything that you want from a Rangers man to be saying. Before I have your say on that, Jim Sloan, thank you very much. Treble still on, lads. Follow. Thank you, Jim, as always, mate. Always there, mate. Always there. I really do appreciate that. But your thought on that, mate, the building the machine that never stops.
Chris, I hope it's a machine he's building. I hope it doesn't stop, to be honest.
Scotia's the engineer for the machine.
Aye, Christ. He's the last man you want as an engineer for the machine. Yeah. But no, everything he says, Karen, I mean, you look back to past managers we've had in Caixinha and things that he would say in a press conference about the caravans and dogs barking and all that, and you're looking about going, what's he on about here? Mm-hmm. But Clement, he says the right words. He just looks like a proper football manager, Karen. I know we keep saying about it, which is ridiculous because we're Rangers. We should have a proper football manager, but everything he says, does, his conduct, I just think it's brilliant. I think he deals with the press very well. They're always looking for that bit of clickbait, and he doesn't give it to them. And he's very stern with them as well. So some of their questions, as we say, are a bit ridiculous, but they are the press that they're there to try and get that clickbait, as I say. But no, his comment about that today is building machine. Again, just one of these words that will stick going forward, and I liked it because I really hope he does build a machine.
Curry said maybe Riff will come back as Robocop.
That's 5
Very
minutes.
good. Very good, Curry. That's very good. That made me laugh. Well done, mate. That's a cracker. Yeah, but no, it's just the words and it's the way he says it, mate, and it's the look that he gives the journal that's asked it. He's just like, I'm not building momentum because momentum means something has to stop. And I'm like, yes, more of that. Give me much more of that. Absolutely tremendous answer. It really was. He's very good at handling the press, handling questions like that. Everybody's always looking for snippets out of him, and he just doesn't give them it. So it's brilliant. Right, Ali, before I let you get out of here, your team and your score, mate.
I'd be surprised if we don't have the same team, to be honest. There's one guy I'd maybe put in, but I don't think he will. Butland in goal, Tav, Goldson. I think Davies might keep his position here. I know Big Balogun's been brilliant, but I think he might stay there. Ryan's Turkish Delight, I think, will come back in because I think he's due to come back in.
Yep.
So Yilmaz at left back.
So far, we're the same. Apart, I don't know, he might play Balogun. I don't know.
And then,
it depends who he feels is more comfortable on the pitch, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm just saying we've only got, this is the last game before the international break, so
true,
that's what I'm kind of thinking. But for me, these two guys start, and these two guys probably start going forward at the moment because they've got a good relationship so far. And Lundstrom and Jack, for me, I think they're another two guys in the team sheet. I know a lot of folks say Ryan Jack can't play a lot of games, but he's there for me. I think he'll play Lammers again. I think Lammers will be there, and I think he'll be there because Livingston, I don't think will come out and play. I think they'll sit in, so I don't think we'll get a lot of width. So we'll need 10 openers, if you want to say. So Lammers, I think Cantwell will be where he was. Seamer, other side, and Danilo. I did think McCausland, but because of the way Livingston play, I can't see it. So that's my team, and I'm going 3-0 Rangers. And it's going to be a Tav penalty to start us off with.
Sounds good to me. I agree with you. I don't think Livingston will come out. I think they'll do their utmost best for not to get beat. They'll do anything for a draw, I think, due to the run that they're currently on. Midfield up to Jack and Lundstrom, I agree with. Defensive midfield, I agree with. I'd play Cantwell, I'd play McCausland, I'd play Seamer, and I'd play Danilo.
That's what I would play.
That's what I want to see. Yeah, that's what I want to see. Because I think McCausland I don't think he's a one-trick pony in terms of he's just a winger, if that makes sense. I think there's a wee bit more to his game. An inverted winger, I think they call it, where he'll be able to cut inside. I think he's quite clever with his passes as well. He's got a good eye for a pass. So I would really like that to be the team. Whether we get it or not, I don't know. No doubt Lammers will start because why would he not? But yeah, look, I'm not going to end it on a negative, but that was what I think the team should be. I'll go for 3-0 Rangers as well, and I'll go for Seamer to score first because he's due a goal. Seamer's due a goal. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Jen, looking forward to it.
Sorry, I just before we go, I did wonder that Cifuentes has been back for a couple of weeks now, and I did wonder what's he going to do with him because we've not really seen him under Clement yet. I don't know what his
vision, if you want to say,
is with Cifuentes.
He might play instead of Jack due to what we were saying as well. I know he's not really a 6, he's more of an 8, but he might play, just have Lundstrom sitting there because of the way Livingston are probably going to play. So I wouldn't be shocked to see Cifuentes come in at the squad. Lawrence is another one, maybe. We might see him depending on how
the pitch.
I know how the pitch is. I know it is the pitch. If it was a grass pitch, I suppose, or maybe not then. But no, Cifuentes is another one. Yeah, I would expect him to play where Jack is if he's a wee bit worried about Jack's fitness or his ability to continue on for game after game, if that makes sense. But no, I wouldn't be shocked. I definitely wouldn't be shocked to see that. But we Fuentes as well. He's another player that he needs to not show more, but he needs the opportunity to show us more, if that makes sense. It's not, I don't think it could be too much of a criticism on him. I know he's got lost in a few games that we've been playing, but it was under Michael Beale, and clearly one of the biggest problems there was Michael Beale, considering what we're seeing under the same squad right now. So yeah, be interesting though, but I'm looking forward to it. So Ali, again, thank you for tonight, mate.
No problem. Hopefully next time we do a podcast, it's not just me and you, Carney. No disrespect that it's just about the two of us, but I know they all tune in for the main man, Scotia. know there's a lot of folk in the comments disappointed he's not here, but I know Scotia's shifts change soon, so I think he may be available for next Friday. So yes, it was good to come on again and talk positive things about Rangers. This has become a habit now, Carney, from the beginning of the season, so it's all good so far. And I'm very much looking forward to watching Rangers against Livingston before we have Scotia's international break with his beloved Scotland.
Can't wait.
Yes, can't wait to.
Can't wait. I genuinely can't wait for it. So on Sunday, as I say, I'm going to the game. I think I'm the only one of the podders that's going to the game anyway, so I'll be back on Sunday with a club reaction after leaving the stadium with potentially a new podder. So make sure you tune in for that. There could potentially be a new addition to the podcast on Sunday, so make sure you tune in for that. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, all the usual stuff. And as I say, I'll speak to you on Sunday. Thank you, everybody. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and enjoy your weekend. And I very much hope that your team wins on Sunday. Cheers, everybody.